Governor, I want to ask you, why are you lying to this committee?
I am not.
Who's the top law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota?
The top law enforcement officer? Attorney General.
Yeah, that's right. What's his name? What's his name?
Are you asking me, do you know his name?
Do you know his name? Do you know his name?
I know the AG Ellison.
This is an article right here I'd like to submit for the record. Minnesota AG says will not enforce federal immigration laws as DOJ threatens to prosecute officials who resist.
Without objection, so ordered.
What happens when a congressman looks a governor in the eye and says, "Why are you lying to this committee?" That is exactly what happened when Eli Crane confronted Tim Walz over Minnesota's immigration policies and past statements. Stay with me because this exchange gets heated fast. And if you want more straight-to-the-point political commentary, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
Governor Walz, you stated in your opening statement the following: but nothing Minnesota has done stands in the way of federal government managing its border security policy.
Okay.
Governor, I want to ask you, why are you lying to this committee?
I am not.
Who's the top law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota?
The top law enforcement officer? Attorney General.
Yeah, that's right. What's his name? What's his name?
Are you asking me, do you know his name?
Do you know his name? Do you know his name?
I know the AG Ellison.
This is an article right here I'd like to submit for the record. Minnesota AG says will not enforce federal immigration laws as DOJ threatens to prosecute officials who resist.
Without objection, so ordered.
Why are you lying to this committee? That is the top law enforcement officer in your state who's saying he will not comply with the federal government.
Nothing in his opinion changes the fact that state law requires all state and county officials to ask for immigration status when a convicted felon is
No,
committed.
I'm sorry, Governor. He is saying he will not comply with federal laws. That's your top law
Nothing in this
enforcement
opinion
officer.
changes how
You're
he-
lying and misrepresenting yourself to this committee. Now I want to ask you this. Do you think in that line of questioning, free health care, food assistance, free college tuition, driver's licenses, and cash assistance, do you think that that's helping or hurting this government manage its border security and policies?
Well, Minnesota ranks first in health care. We rank third in safety on our roads.
Let me answer that for you. Okay. It's actually hurting because what you
making
created
my state safer and more
you've created a
prosperous.
state that is now a magnet that is
There's
drawing
no law.
illegals
There is no sanctuary
to
law in
Minnesota.
Minnesota, Congressman.
I know you guys haven't put it that way on the books, but your state has everything, every element in it that is consistent with the sanctuary state.
That's
Moving
incorrect.
on, Mr. Walz. How about you calling ICE agents modern-day Gestapo? That also stands. Do you think that that helps our federal government carry out its law enforcement?
I think best
border
practices in law
security
enforcement
policies?
by identifying who you are, identifying the vehicles, and making sure everyone has due process helps our law enforcement. I think covering your faces.
So you think that
rolling in there-
you think that that helps calling our law enforcement agents that? What does ICE stand for, Governor? Immigration, Custom Enforcement, right? These are the guys that are tasked with enforcing immigration, federal immigration
That's right.
laws?
Federal. That's their job. It's
So
not
you
the
think
state's
that
job.
calling them Gestapo is helping? You're not standing in the way. None of the messaging. None
Eli
of the
Crane directly confronted Tim Walz during a heated House hearing, challenging his statements about Minnesota's cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. The exchange also covered ICE, sanctuary policies, border security, free speech, and Walz's past political comments. Watch the full breakdown and let us know. Did Crane make his case or did Walz have the better response? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more congressional hearing reactions and political commentary.
None of the rhetoric is standing in the way of this administration doing what they've been tasked to do. Is that what you're saying?
I think what would help them is to follow due process, and when they do these missions, do the things that we expect of law enforcement.
How about when you
Identify
went on
them.
Anderson Cooper, Governor Walz, and you said, how high is this wall? If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in a 30-foot ladder factory. Do you think that that helps our federal government carry out its law enforcement, its border security, and policy operations?
When did I say that?
You went on Anderson Cooper and said that. Do you not remember saying that? Because you've said so many outlandish things that you can't even keep track of them?
The point being is...
The clip is there for everybody. It's there for all Americans. If you guys want to go watch it, it's an easy Google. All right. Governor, you recently went on Gavin Newsom's podcast. You stated in regards to MAGA voters, I scare them a little bit, which is why they spend so much time on me. No, I'm serious because they know I can fix a truck. That's your direct quote. You also said on the show, I think I could kick most of their asses. I want to be very clear with you, Governor. You do scare us a bit, but it's not because you can fix a truck or change a tire. It's actually because of your radical left-wing agenda. You supported putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. You advocated for the disarming of Americans of their Second Amendment rights. You're pro-sanctuary city, as we have uncovered here today. You claim there is no guarantee to free speech when it comes to misinformation and hate speech. That right there is why the American people have such a hard time with you. It's not because we're crazy MAGA people. It's because of your radical left-wing agenda. I want to ask you on that last one where you claim there's no guarantee to free speech. Did you pick that up on one of your 30 trips to communist China, Governor? That sounds a lot like something that they would do. Yes or no?
So I don't believe hate speech
Okay.
has a place in there. Hate speech that incites violence.
Governor Walz, you said that Kamala Harris picked you for vice president to code talk to white guys. How did that work out for this administration? How well did you do with white guys?
I don't have the
You
data.
lost by 22 points to white guys. And it's because you talk like the way you do, you say the things you do, and you have this radical left-wing ideology. So if you want to continue that rhetoric, go on, brother. Keep doing it. We'll keep destroying you in elections.
And the
Thank you,
people
and
of
I
Minnes-
yield back.
The people of Minnesota will continue to have me serve them.
Chair recognizes Mr. Ramirez.
Crane's central argument was simple. Walz said nothing Minnesota had done was standing in the way of federal immigration enforcement, but Crane pointed to statements attributed to Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison indicating resistance to certain federal immigration laws. Walz pushed back, arguing that Minnesota law still requires officials to follow certain immigration status procedures involving convicted felons. But Crane wasn't satisfied. From his perspective, the issue wasn't simply what Minnesota law says on paper. It was whether state officials were actually cooperating with federal immigration enforcement. And this is where the debate becomes important. If federal immigration laws are being enforced, states have to decide whether they are going to cooperate with federal authorities or create additional barriers. Crane argued that Minnesota's policies and political messaging were making federal enforcement more difficult. He then moved to Minnesota's benefits and policies, including healthcare, food assistance, college tuition, driver's licenses, and cash assistance. Crane's argument was that these policies could create incentives that attract more illegal immigration. Walz defended Minnesota by highlighting the state's healthcare and other programs, but Crane clearly wanted the conversation focused on whether those policies affect immigration enforcement. Then came another major confrontation. Crane brought up Walz's description of ICE agents as modern-day Gestapo. That is an extremely serious comparison, especially when directed at federal law enforcement officers whose job is to enforce federal immigration laws. Walz responded by emphasizing due process and proper law enforcement procedures. And that is a legitimate issue to debate. Law enforcement absolutely should follow the Constitution and due process. But from a conservative perspective, there is another question. Can you criticize specific enforcement tactics without portraying the entire agency as something comparable to the Nazi secret police? That distinction matters. Crane also confronted Walz about his past comments regarding a potential border wall and a ladder. Walz appeared not to immediately remember the specific comment, while Crane insisted that the clip was publicly available. Then Crane shifted from immigration to Walz's broader political record. He brought up Walz's comments about MAGA voters, his Second Amendment positions, sanctuary policies, free speech, and other issues. Crane argued that the opposition to Walz isn't simply because of political tribalism, but because of fundamental disagreements over government policy. Now, whether you agree with Crane or Walz, this hearing highlights something Americans should pay attention to. Political rhetoric has consequences. If elected officials accuse federal law enforcement of acting improperly, they should be prepared to explain exactly what they mean. If states claim they are cooperating with federal immigration enforcement, they should be prepared to demonstrate how that cooperation works in practice. And that's why this exchange matters. This wasn't just about Tim Walz versus Eli Crane. It was about federal authority, state cooperation, immigration enforcement, law enforcement, and the boundaries of political rhetoric. From my perspective, Americans deserve politicians who answer difficult questions directly, regardless of party. What do you think? Did Eli Crane make a legitimate case against Walz, or did Walz adequately answer the questions? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more political hearing breakdowns like this video, and subscribe to the channel.